Hey folks, attachment specialist Adam Lane Smith here. And lately a ton of my male clients have been popping up to ask me why there are so many narcissistic women out there right now. And it's true, there are a lot, and they're causing chaos in the modern dating scene. So for those of you who are wondering, here's what it looks like to be with a narcissistic woman. Some of them might shower you with attention at first, but then demand that you pay back every ounce of affection she ever gave you. Others may blame you for every negative feeling that she has and demand that you make her feel better on the spot. Or they might insist that you pay huge amounts of money for every date and shower her with gifts for the grace of enjoying her presence. No sex, no intimacy, no love, no nothing. Just her being there and looking at you. Now, I'm about to show you in this video why this happens and how you're going to dodge these experiences in modern dating to get the best partner for you. I'm Adam Lane Smith, the attachment specialist, and I make relationships better. Shout out to all my members who support this channel. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you guys. And for all the new viewers who are joining us today, we're going to show you how to figure out if somebody's being narcissistic towards you and what you can do about it. Now, how many of you out there know why women act this way? And no, it's not because that's just the way that women are. Not every woman is this way. But for the ones who are, I'm going to give you a hint. It has to do with their attachment style. Are curious how it works? Well, let's dive right in so that by the end of this video, you can spot that narcissistic woman a mile away. First, you need to know what you're up against. So let's explore the 8 red flags that indicate you might be dating a narcissistic woman. Number 1, an excessive need for admiration. She is constantly seeking validation, fishing for compliments, and gets upset if she's not the center of your attention at all moments. So think about this. Recall a time that somebody kept steering the conversation back to themselves over and over and over. Maybe you brought up a difficulty you were experiencing. They said, "Oh yeah, that's just like," and turned it right back to themselves. How did that make you feel? This is bad because they can't even make space for you to have a thought or a feeling. It has to be about them. And if it's ever not, they don't care. And a lot of this springs from sign number 2, lack of empathy. If you have a hurt or a difficulty or a need, they dismiss it. They struggle to show any genuine concern for other people that is not just an elaborate show that makes them look good. In fact, they only care about other people when doing so brings them something. Then they often get cold and indifferent afterward, or cold and indifferent to the people in their life who genuinely need them. Maybe their partner, maybe their children, whoever it might be, those are the people that are left out in the cold. So imagine sharing a vulnerable moment, something that you need, and you're being met with an iron wall of indifference. I fail to see why that's my problem. I'm sorry you feel that way. Complete lack of empathy. This is terrible, you guys, because you cannot form a relationship with this person. They only care about what you provide. And the moment you don't provide, you're out. Now, along with that is sign number 3, taking advantage of other people. These women use people for personal gain. They lack any kind of gratitude because they think it's just their given right, and they see other people as expendable and as a resource. There are so many stories online, particularly out of New York City, but I'm sure it happens other places, where women date for food. I'm going to go on Tinder. I'm hungry. I can't afford a nice, expensive meal. I'm going to go on Tinder, and I'm going to open this up and then demand that whoever I pick takes me to an extravagant dinner. There was a great news article about a woman who always gets takeout for her cat at those restaurants, usually lobster. Imagine being used that way. Think of a scenario maybe where somebody borrowed something from you or demanded something from you, and they promised that if you did this, they would return that favor in some way, but they never did. This is bad, you guys, because other people are not resources to exploit. You are not a resource to be exploited. You are not a charity. You are not handing out free lobster dinners to people's cats. And over time, the relationship will break apart again if you're not constantly offering them something. But when somebody else does offer them something, you'll be left behind or cheated on. These women also, number 4, have a grandiose sense of importance. I saw a video not too long ago about a woman who threw a fit in a car about going to the Cheesecake Factory on a date. And it turned out that she had to go there because the more expensive restaurant he had picked had passed by their reservation because she was an hour late to the date. She demanded he take her to a better place and sat there like a queen in the car, demanding better. I look too good to go to a place like the Cheesecake Factory. These women boast excessively. They see themselves as unique, special, and they belittle other people, and they love mocking other people. So think about an instance when somebody talked down to you as if you were inferior, or sat back and demanded better treatment. I deserve this, rather than making a conversation. There is no way on earth that you can maintain that person's level of lifestyle, even emotionally. I shouldn't have to put up with these needs. These are your children. I shouldn't have to put up with this when they're both of your children. Imagine being in a relationship like that. Now, sign number 5. These people are obsessed and preoccupied with fantasies of getting success and power. They have daydreams of unlimited success, unlimited power, unlimited brilliance, or total beauty. And they expect it to be recognized as superior. They just have to keep going. They just have to get people to see how amazing they are. And if they can do this, everything will be right with the world. Envision a date where she constantly talks about how she's destined for greatness. She does nothing to achieve it, but she talks all the time about how she's going to get there. And she just needs to find the right man who acknowledges her in the right way. But she's probably staring at her phone the whole time, not actually talking to you, because she's looking at stimulation elsewhere. You are never going to measure up to this person's degree of success and of need. You never, ever will. And they will grind you into the dirt every step of the way for not being enough. These sort of women also have a hypersensitivity to any kind of criticism. They react strongly to the slightest critiques. They're often defensive, and they might lash out and attack you. Think back to a moment when you were offering gentle feedback to somebody, and it led to an explosive reaction out of control. Hey, you know what? This wasn't great, but I thank you for it, but this wasn't what I wanted. Could you do this instead next time? Well, and boom, gone. Now, this is horrible for and unusable for relationships, undoable, unsurvivable, because a relationship is based on being imperfect together, but constantly working to take care of each other, to get better and better and better over time, you guys. It's absolutely crucial that you have that ability, because we are never going to be perfect partners. If they can't accept that, they will never even be a good partner. They're also obsessively envious of other people. They resent other people's success. They believe other people are envious of them at the same time, and they struggle to celebrate any wins that someone else can have. Now, picture being with somebody who can't stand when you succeed. They downplay every achievement you have. They don't care what you are doing. In fact, they treat it like a threat, and they make you feel bad on your worst days, and worse on your best days. You don't even get to have good days. This is horrible and unsustainable because they'll never be pleased. There's always going to be somebody with more, and you're never going to stop hearing about how you're not providing enough for their sake. You're not providing what they deserve. Now, along with all of this is sign number 8, a pattern of manipulative behaviors. They get all of these things and they hook in with people because they use guilt and shame and charm in different measures to manipulate. They gaslight people. They just lie. They twist narratives to suit their needs. Every time you have a problem, they bring it back to you being the problem. Recall a time when you felt manipulated, maybe into doubting your own perspective, your own sanity. Maybe you were wrong. Maybe she cheated on you, but it was your fault. I have plenty of male clients who come in with that kind of a head game. Plenty of male clients. Well, she told me it was my fault, and then she got everybody else to tell me it was my fault too. And that's where this leads, you guys, is being destroyed and being blamed for being destroyed. So spotting these red flags, that's the first step. Now you know what to look for, but you need to understand how they're going to hook you in and where your defenses are weak. so that your defenses instead can become unbreakable. So let's explore next how you're going to become impervious to manipulation and resistant to these narcissistic behaviors. Keep an eye out for these following tactics. Number one at the beginning is love bombing. It's overwhelming affection and attention in the initial phase that makes you feel special and unique, especially because you're bonding with someone who seems so impressive. Remember feeling like you met the one because of their intense affection for you, only for it to change dramatically over time. This is terrible for relationships, you guys, because you will start off feeling intoxicated to them and like they love you. They are mimicking the signs of being in love to get you hooked and then to convince you it was your fault that they couldn't sustain that level of fakeness. Now, number two is very much like it. Passionate intimacy. This is intense physical connection, using intimacy as a manipulation tool. It might be part of that love bombing, but a lot of women use their frantic sexual energy at the beginning to make you feel like you're never going to be able to find somebody else like them. The research shows that men tend to report the most physical and sexual satisfaction with women who are unstable. And this is why, is because they have to make it this way. Have you ever been with someone whose physical intimacy felt like a roller coaster? Incredible highs at the beginning, but then overwhelming lows as you crashed down eventually. That's because this is unsustainable and it's fake. You can have intense passion, but it usually requires time to build. It's not front-loaded into the relationship, and if it is, there's a reason that they're doing that. Now, the next tactic is gaslighting. This is making you doubt your memory or your sanity, and it's shifting the blame onto you. No, I didn't do that. No, I didn't say that. You're remembering that wrong. No, you're not remembering that right. No, I didn't say that. No, I would not have said that. Think back to an argument, maybe, that you had with a partner where you felt questioned, overly questioned, pushed, interrogated, confused, and you started doubting yourself. This is going to destroy you because you can't trust yourself over time if you believe in this, and it will destroy your ability to trust other people as well. That's why coming out of a relationship like this, there's a huge detox period because you will think everybody's going to hurt you this way. Now, the point of all of this is tactic number 4, playing the victim. When they do all of these things, they can blame you. They can shift that blame and portray themselves as the victim to get sympathy. I have been the best partner in the world and you're doing this to me. Look at what I've done for you. Now you're remembering things wrong. You're lying about me. I am so kind and affectionate. I loved you so much. And now this, they can make themselves the victim because you're not doing enough for them. Think back to a situation where you were blamed for something that you did not do while they played the victim in every way. They might start off angry, yelling at you, and then when that doesn't work, they collapse back into making it about them. Remember earlier, they make everything about them? Playing the victim. You are giving me bad feelings, therefore you are a bad person. And tactic number 5 is intermittent reinforcement, which really means unstable and unpredictable affection. They go hot and cold and hot and cold to keep you on your toes. When they need to reel you back in, they warm up again, and the sex and the affection comes back, and it's wonderful until they feel like you've got enough that you owe them again, and faucet shuts off. Now it's cold again. Picture being with somebody whose mood and affection you can never, ever predict. And in fact, it's only going to be used as a weapon against you as the relationship goes on. This will tear you apart. Now, guys, all 5 of these tactics are extremely common in modern dating, and they're going to get you in trouble if you fall for them. That is why it's time to make you bulletproof. We need to strengthen you so that you can take a hit, laugh, and walk away if they try these tactics on you. Narcissistic women only have as much power as you allow them to have. And there are several steps that you need to take before and during those experiences with them that will help you push back and refuse them. So let's talk next about what you're going to do to resist these manipulators and end their power over you. Number 1, you're going to secure your own attachment. This is basically like your armor. Right? You've watched my other videos. You know attachment is the way you connect other people to give and receive love. If you have a gap in that, if you crave validation, or you don't believe you will ever be loved, when someone comes along and saturates you with this bombing effect, you fall for it. That's the number one thing that hooks you in. So when you fix your attachment, you have a thriving connection with the people around you, and you can say, wait a minute, something's not right here. You can also push back against that gaslighting and say, this is not healthy. This behavior is inappropriate. And you can walk away from a relationship without feeling like you're losing the only love you'll ever have. Get your attachment secure. I have so many ways to help you do this. If you need personal coaching, you need the attachment bootcamp course, whatever you need, I have tons of resources. But the best way to armor up is to fix your attachment. Number two is to educate yourself on healthy relationships so that you know what to expect, so that you can push back and say, this is called love bombing. That's inappropriate. This is gaslighting. I'm not going to stand for this. You are making yourself the victim, and that is not okay. When you're on those first dates, you can say, you really make everything about yourself, don't you? Or maybe you don't even say that. You just say, you know what? This is not for me. I think I'm going to say goodbye. You can be done. When you educate yourself on what is healthy, you can start refusing what is not. You can stop trying to save them too. Now, I recommend, number three, that you review often these red flags that I mentioned in this video. The first half of this video, listen to it over and over and over. Drag it up before a date. Listen, this is going to be helpful. You need to know the red flags. You can go, whoa, and you see them. That's why we call them red flags. It's a red flag waving in front of your face. If you can see it and track it, you can be safe from this and protect yourself, and then refuse it and push back and be bulletproof. Now, one of the best ways to root out a narcissist is to implement my 3-date method. I have a video for this earlier on this channel, but the 3-date method is basically your shield. If you're armored up against their attempts, you can block their attempts by knowing it and checking in with them and asking them questions and guiding them through those 3 dates. Very few narcissistic women are able to make it through that 3-date method. They'd have to be extremely skilled, and they'll out themselves eventually in that first year, as I show in that video. So watch the 3-date method video on this channel. That will help you tremendously. Also, during that 3-date process, do not be afraid to ask questions, especially pointed ones about red flags. Hey, you know what? You mentioned this. Is that common for you? Wow. Seems like you have really high standards. Good for you, but have you ever met anybody who's been able to satisfy that? I don't know that I'll be able to do that for you. What if we can't do that? Right? Asking blunt, pointed questions. Well, I deserve that. Thanks for letting me know. Sounds like you're probably going to have to find somebody else then. Additionally, do not let manipulators have their way, because it never, ever gets better, you guys. You can't stop them. You can't heal them. You're not here to change them. You can invite somebody into a better life, but you cannot take somebody who thinks you are a paycheck and make them have empathy for you as a human being. It doesn't work that way. So you've got to learn how to resist those manipulators. Now, I have shown you in this video how to avoid the worst narcissistic women in the modern dating marketplace. The next step is to put it into action. You can do this, you guys. Remember the flags, follow the steps, and you can shut them down. And if any of this feels overwhelming, or if you're not clear on how to apply it, know that I am here to help. I have assisted thousands of people in avoiding narcissistic women and pairing up instead with partners who fulfill them, who respect them, and who draw out their best features. And I am happy to help you, so just say the word. So guys, as the dating landscape evolves, some traits become more prominent. Right now, that means that narcissism is on the rise. That is the bad news. But with awareness, you can navigate through the maze effortlessly. So use the insights in this video, not just to ward off the chaos, but to genuinely attract loving, amazing women, because they are out there and you can build an incredible romantic relationship. So if you ever find yourself questioning a situation, or if you need guidance building a fulfilling dating life, drop a comment below or email me at support@adamlanesmith.com for personal coaching. Your future self will thank you for prioritizing healthy human connections. So thank you for watching. I am Adam Lane Smith, the attachment specialist, and I'm here to make your relationships better. Remember, in the world of relationships, you deserve nothing but the best. And I don't mean that narcissistically. I mean that because you are doing the best to be your best. So I will see you in the next video, that 3-date method.